Welcome back. Sorry about that, but I saw the glitch. I figured remedy it right away. Unfortunately, it was during the midst of a really good question, so we'll get Carly back here in a moment. She looks really comfortable. She's just like the coolest athlete. It's just like everything is under control. Here she is. It's just I've always envied that. You can tell the athletes that have it all. The every part there she is. Thanks, you're a good sport. Thanks for getting back on.
This is our new world, slow connections and getting booted from Instagram.
Well, the biggest I was going to run downstairs because my every time something like that happens, usually my son eating all the bandwidth, and this is so I'm like, Maxie, get off! I feel terrible, parents. I'm working, but it's this reality. But all the NFL teams are going through this too. There was like all sorts of glitches with these picks.
Really? Already?
Well, I think they did a run through and there was all sort of problems earlier, but now they've fixed it out.
Yeah, it's tough. Everybody's using all the bandwidth. Why is our internet so slow? Well, it's probably because the hundreds of thousands of people at home.
That's probably honestly. I have a studio here. And we're doing stuff. If any technological issues occurred, and I'm not tech savvy, I'm talking a small issue, it's over. This place will come to a screeching halt. I'll grow a beard. And anyway, long story. Yeah. No one wants to hear about that. I saw one question I thought was interesting. I was talking about technique and about someone asked, how do you get faster? Or how can you train yourself to get faster? Is there a secret to that?
Yeah, I think, what I've done, I'm obviously not, a majorly fast player on the field, but I'm definitely explosive and pretty agile as well. But I like to use my brain and my smarts on the field to be as efficient as I can. I think it's obviously, the positions that I played from central midfielder now up into the number 9, I have to be just smarter with the runs that I make. But what I've done throughout my career is some hill training, that builds muscle. I've done, beach training as well. I do this quick board thing that's pretty awesome. I think that's kind of flown under the radar. I've done a couple of Instagram videos on it, which is really cool. It's just kind of that fast twitch muscle that you can train to become faster. I've done all that. Hopping, jumps, all sorts of stuff. But yeah, absolutely. I think that would probably be maybe a question for somebody that ran track, perhaps. But, I've done what I could and, just trying to be the most efficient player out there.
I'll tell you why it's a good question for you, because you say, I'm not the fastest out there, but you still have to maintain some sort of pace to kind of stay in touch with the faster athletes that are out there on any given game.
Yeah, definitely. I think, if you rely solely on your speed and athleticism as a soccer player, the older you get, it's actually going to do the opposite for you.
Wow.
Yeah, if you're young and you're fast and you're athletic, but you have no skill, the older you get, you're not going to be able to get away with that. But for me, I've been somebody who's kind of just become fitter and fitter the older I've gotten with age. But I've also had to become better up here in my brain while I'm playing. So I can think 4 or 5 steps prior to what the opponent or even my teammates are thinking and be ready. So that's why I've been able to continue to play up until almost the age of 38 right now, is because I've become smarter. So if I were just relying on being athletic and not really knowing the game and understanding the game, I wouldn't still be here.
It's the smarts. The cardio's got to be there, and if that cardio's there, that obviously allows you to make the right decisions. So those kind of go hand in hand.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. It's everything now. Recovery, sleep, hydration, just everything. You can't switch off as a professional athlete and a soccer player. It's just 24 hours, 7 days a week. It's just a lifestyle.
Do you ever stop and survey the landscape of what you've accomplished? Because I know you're still active and you say, I'm still looking ahead, but do you have that very comfortable chair right now? Do you ever stop and go, That's
I
pretty good.
I decided not to fully recline on it, so I didn't look like I was sleeping during the live chat.
She's like, oh, what was that?
Actually, right now I've got my TV on, and prior to this call, I was been watching the 2012 Olympic final.
Okay, yeah.
I watched 2008 Olympic final last night, so it's
Was
just
that
weird to get a.
Brazil?
Yeah, 2008 Olympic final was against Brazil. We won 1-0 in overtime. And then 2012 Olympic final against Japan, we won 2-1. So it's just crazy to look at myself this long ago and see how far I've come. So to answer your question, yeah, I'm kind of like, oh wow, I've come a really long way, but never in a million years would I have predicted, all that's kind of come my way.
I have always difficulties retaining where the Olympic Games were. So '08, was that Beijing? No,
Yes, Beijing and then London.
London. Which one was a better experience? Or the World Cup, you're
Um,
in Canada. I mean, was there a competition you said that was up with the results aside, you said this was a great experience. I'll remember this for the cultural parts of it and everything.
I think London. London was really cool because we got to play the final in Wembley. We got to play at Old Trafford. We played at uh, Newcastle, I believe, stadium. So we got to play in a lot of the English Premier League stadiums. So as a soccer player, you can imagine how cool that is. Playing in Wembley is, just iconic all on its own. So I would have to say London. But I would also have to say, Vancouver, 2015 World Cup was pretty spectacular just because we had so many American fans there. It felt like we were actually playing at home. So that was cool. But they've all had, little different experiences, and it's been a cool ride so far.
A friend of mine said, "You're gonna interview Carli. Ask her what it was like to hit that goal in the 2015 final." I go, "That's the dumb. What do you think she's gonna say? That has to be the greatest feeling ever." I'm not gonna ask her. I kind of did, but that was pretty breathtaking. I think everyone had to sit there as a I'll be honest, I didn't watch as much. I appreciated women's soccer more when I started watching. And you're a big reason because I see, the same skill set, the same yearning for winning, and I really got on board. And when you did that, I think I was like so many people, and I kind of was like you in that position, soaking in the adoration. And I think everyone kind of has this universal feeling to it. It was like, it was your moment, but we shared it, certainly as Americans. And what has there been an interesting story someone said about that was very personal, without getting too many details if you don't want to?
Um, I mean, not really. I mean, I think for me, it was just, it was very emotional, the 2015 World Cup final, just because, I had been someone who had been a part of the team for 10 years up until that point. And, I feel like I had just been kind of trotting along and, come up in big moments in qualifying, World Cup qualifyings, Olympic qualifyings, scored in Olympic finals. Was playing a role within the squad. But I felt like, nobody really ever noticed that. And I'm not somebody that is, seeking the spotlight or wanting that, but I just wanted my play to do the talking. That's all I've wanted throughout my career. It shouldn't matter, what I look like, how I dress, what kind of car I drive. I just solely wanted to be respected for what I've done on the field. And, it took scoring 3 goals in a final for people to say, wow, where'd this Carli Lloyd come from? And I'm like, I've been here for 10 years. You guys just haven't
No one
noticed.
says that anymore.
Yeah. So for me, it was personal, in the fact that, just reassuring me that, things don't always happen overnight. Success doesn't happen overnight. It may take a year, it may take 5, it may take 10. But everything that I had been doing up until that point made that moment worth it. To be able to win with my teammates, to be able to help lift that trophy, that is why I woke up 6 a.m. training and, trained in snow, trained in, cold weather, trained in hot weather, grinded away. And it was just really, really a special moment. I've had a couple of people too ask me, what did you eat that morning? And I'm like,
That was my next question. I'm just kidding.
only it were that easy, like, what did I eat? It's been 10 years of blood, sweat, and tears. So no, it was it was an amazing moment for sure.
I'm a World Cup historian with the men and the women now, having been, when I was at ESPN, obviously we saw that developing as more of a TV event. But, you know, they always say World Cup finals don't live up to billing. And that was the moment, men or women, ever. Because on the men's side, you always sit there and go, here we go, semifinals are going to be good. And then the final, you're like, the standard goes way, way lower than you would like. And then that happens. So I'll say it
Yeah,
for you. Breathtaking.
it was cool. It was fun.
So you've seen it with the team. I guess was impressive from 2015-19. I mean, people say repeating as champions is so difficult. People don't do it. So what did you say as an individual part of that squad that said we're going to do it because we're outwork teams? I guess we've seen it so many times in competitions. After you win a big one, the guard comes down. What let you put you guys over the edge?
You know, I think some of us that took part in the 2016 Olympics was obviously a disappointment. I think, you know, a lot of us felt like we let everybody down, you know, to get knocked out in the quarterfinal, worst that this team has ever done. So then it was, okay, we need to get ready and we need to all reinvent ourselves and continue to get better for 2019. And that's what we did. And we knew it was going to be an unbelievable moment, especially in France. They did a spectacular job of hosting, and it was just amazing. You know, it was a great experience. Wasn't easy. You know, we had really tough opponents, and I think what this team does, you know, that's amazing is we just are always confident every time we step out onto the field. You know, no matter who we have out on there. We had 23 amazing players who all contributed, who made a difference, and it took all 23 players to get the job done. So it was quite an achievement by everybody. And now I guess the next squad for 2023, I guess it would be. So
It would.
they've got some pressure.
There's got to be people pushing you too. I mean, there's like that young generation get in, but you got that. That's your achievement. So what have you seen from the next generation? Because this is the hardest team to crack right now.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of talented players, and you know, my job as a veteran player is to just, you know, try to help them and make them feel comfortable. I know when I first came onto the team in 2005, it was a very daunting and intimidating environment to be a part of, and I made sure that moment, I said to myself, when I become an older player, I want to make the younger players feel more welcome. And it's great. You know, I think we have great chemistry with the team. We've got some veteran players, some more experienced players mixed in with some younger players. And, you know, I'm a bit older. Some of the music choices in the locker room have changed. But no, it's all good, and we've got a talented bunch of players, and you know what Blacko's doing currently. Our coach is doing an unbelievable job. I mean, he's probably one of the best coaches I've played for. He's amazing, and really cares about the people, players, staff. Everybody feels united. He wants to individually develop players. He wants to collectively make our team better. So it's a really good environment now.
I can imagine being a young player walking into that, and you have the greatest team in history that's won back-to-back World Cups. It's got to be pretty intimidating. You see Carli, you see Megan, you see Alex. That's for them to walk in and see that you have to probably understand that is a sensory overload.
It is. You know, I would say the biggest challenge for younger players coming in is consistency. You know, I've seen younger players come in their first couple of camps, one or two camps, you know, they're not thinking, they're just playing with instincts. They're going out there, they're doing well. They're playing like a youngster should. But then when you start to kind of demand some things with them, and when you have to start to think and you have to implement things on the field, play a certain style, that's when you kind of see some of the ones who maybe aren't ready fall off. And then the ones that are, you know, kind of hang on. But I think the biggest thing is the consistency piece. And I think that's the hardest thing. It's not necessarily, you know, getting invited in. That's hard. But as we know,
it should be hard. It should be hard.
It should, yes. But staying there is the hardest part. It's like me, getting my foot in the door. It's hard, don't get me wrong, but to be able to stay at the top and continue to stay at the top is unbelievably challenging. But it's something I wouldn't want to trade for anything.
Well, you should give yourself a lot of credit for that, because maintaining the standard, gaining the standard, but maintaining it is a whole different kettle of fish, certainly.
Oh yeah.
Once this all clears up, can we get you out to LA at all?
Yeah, I would love to. LA's probably, I'm going to say Red Bull Arena is probably my favorite MLS stadium to play in. But LAFC Stadium is probably my next favorite.
You did play. So you played in the one game, the build-up. Pretty
yeah,
nice.
it's a great stadium.
Next
Great
time
fan
you come,
base.
I'll have to show you around. We have this thing called the Falconer, where you can come out and they give you obviously a nice big glove. You take the Falcon, it flies off, and it gets the opposing team's logo.
Oh, that's cool.
There's an open invite for you if you ever want to come down and do that.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, what you guys are doing is tremendous. Bob Bradley, I'm a big fan of him. I think he's, gets the best out of players. And, yeah, it's crazy. How many games did you guys play before all this kind of?
So we had 2 MLS games, and then it was one against the new team from Miami, David Beckham's team, and then they played Philadelphia.
Okay.
That was an incredible game. And then they played a couple in the Champions League from Mexico. They beat León, and they were looking to travel to Mexico City for the quarterfinals, and that's when everything stopped. So 4 games total. The season was in diapers, as I like to say, but
yeah, it's not ideal anywhere around the world. It's crazy. No one knows, that's the tough part about it. No one knows when we're all going to resume. So
yeah. And NWSL was set to begin, and that obviously put on hold.
Yeah, so those of us that were with the national team during the She Believes Cup, we finished up in Dallas on, I believe it was March 10th or 11th, 10th, I think. And then as soon as our game ended, that's when the NBA suspended everything. A couple of the basketball players got the virus, and then everything started to just come tumbling down.
Sure.
We obviously weren't with our teams during preseason. So the teams had about a week of preseason, and then everything got shut down. So I really feel for a lot of the other players across our league, because they've already kind of had a really long off season if you weren't part of the national team. We've been going nonstop pretty much, but yeah, they've had this long off season. They've then prepped and gotten fit and ready for preseason, had a week of that, and then this happened. So it's we just all have to adapt. It's all pretty crazy, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm enjoying the pause of life and appreciating things right now.
Oh. Carli, I keep you on longer, but I really appreciate your time, and I know you're out on the East Coast and you joined us here, but again, really appreciate it, and it's great to chat with you. And anything you say really rubs into some young girls that would like to do, young men as well, that would like to certainly reach that level at some point.
Cool. Yeah, it was a pleasure chatting with you again.
All right, we'll get you out late soon. So think how you're looking black and gold, because you got.
All right.
I don't want to get you in trouble on the East Coast, but.
Yeah, all good. I won't offend anybody.
All right. Thanks so much, Carli.
All right. See ya. Bye.
Bye. Thanks for joining us. There was Carli Lloyd. For anyone who's at 8 o'clock Pacific time, 11 Eastern, we'll have Pablo Cisniega, the goalkeeper of LAFC, on here. Max Live. So see you then. Thanks again. Carli Lloyd's the best. The best. The best.